So in our world, we are all things accounts receivable. So any way that money comes into your business, we can assist you guys with that. But as you know, and if you don't know, you'll find out there are fees that are associated with it. So just being connected with somebody that you can go to as a resource, but then also know that they're a partner in an organization, and so they're going to do and make sure that they treat you with the best care in regards to the pricing, in regards to customer service, in regards to the product, etc. So what it puts on us is Elena has built a great organization with thousands of members and prospects. Well, we want to make sure we're in front of them. So it's not advantageous for us to do anything negligent or to sour that relationship, because one bad choice or one bad customer experience that now floats through the association. So that's the benefit of what we're bringing to the table. Now, what Payscape, just to give you a little background, founded here in Atlanta, Georgia, been around since 2004. So we're 15 years into the industry. The industry that we serve is merchant services, so most things with credit cards, but we're a financial technology company at this point. And what that means is, unlike your Square, unlike your PayPal, unlike your Stripe in some cases, unlike WorldPay, First Data, we kind of have a boutique one-stop shop. So the products that we bring to the table, not only when it comes to mobile swiping, but we also can provide websites. If you want insights on Yelp reviews, we can provide that. If you need to have an ATM put into your shop and you don't know how that process starts, we can help you guys with that. We have an e-commerce platform that will allow you to sell on Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, as well as on your website, all in one platform. We have that scenario and everything that's set up. So our goal today is really just to educate you guys on merchant services, understanding what it is, understand how credit card fees impact you, understand how credit card fees are determined, understand the difference between the terminology that you guys may hear, so that when you are making a decision, you can at least say, okay, I've heard this before, understand, and you can know what you truly should be paying depending on the type of transaction that you guys are doing. I guess in this case, dealing with a small business owner, and then you have somebody, well, just yourself for now, and then somebody like yourself. So when it comes to mobile swiping, I'll just go through the different things that impact you guys that we found. We got 15 core products that you guys do have an account manager, Reagan Dotson, who can give you a demo at no cost at any time on any product that you're interested in. So if you want to see how it works and how it's going to impact us, Reagan is the person that you guys will contact. Reagan is dedicated to this relationship. So Reagan's not going to not talk to Kenya and then not talk to Kenesha, and now you're sitting here like, wait, well, Reagan told me this, and then somebody else in the call center in San Diego told me this, and then somebody else told me this. So Reagan is the person that everybody in the association now has access to from an account management standpoint. That's going to allow Reagan to tell stories, because she's going to hear stories from you when you bring on a third person and get to 6 saying, oh, wow, I'm familiar with that situation because this is a scenario. Let me tell you how we fixed it. Oh, you want a reference? Contact this person. And then it just makes everything a little bit better there. But as far as just the products that we offer, so one of the ones that we do offer, which we talked about before here, is mobile swiping, which is huge in you guys' industry across the board. And mobile swipe, there's no science to it. It's exactly what it is. It's mobile swiping. You can take a transaction from your cell phone. One of the biggest things that we saw changing, because Square was the industry leader in that marketplace, well, the other industry leader that controlled the mobile devices, iPhone, went away from iPhone jacks. So initially, everybody had the Square reader, they could plug it into their phone. Well, then that's when the iPhone 8 came out, or maybe 7, and they got rid of the iPhone jack. So people had this device that they've been using, they had no way to use it anymore. Well, maybe what was not told, which is something that we discussed earlier, is when you don't swipe a card, well, you pay a premium when you key that card in. So people were just not worrying about, Square didn't care so much about having people get the new and latest device, because they were making basically 100 basis points or percentage higher by you not switching it out. You switched the phone, but now they're getting paid for those same transactions that you were paying 2.75 for. You were probably paying 3.754%. That's one of the things that a business owner, if they're not paying attention to or don't know the difference between a swipe rate and compared to a keyed-in rate, you just don't even think about. You just know that it doesn't work anymore. Payscape, how could we have alleviated that problem? One, we're local. So if it was something where you did want to say, hey, this thing doesn't work with my phone anymore, you're not calling into an 800 number to Abyss. You're not having to reorder another. Sometimes you may have to reorder another product, but you can at least contact a local representative, an account manager saying, hey, I switched my phone out. This one's not working for me anymore. What do you think is best? Some of it may have cost, some of it may not. Just depends on your relationship, promos that we're running at that time, just anything that may be going on. When it comes to Square, speaking of mobile, the Square, PayPal, sometimes Stripe, because I know Stripe has different pricing scenarios, they will do consolidated billing. And consolidated billing just basically means you're going to pay one rate, no matter what, one rate per transaction when you swipe it. And it's 2.75, and it's really easy for you guys to get, and it doesn't take any paperwork. You can just go online and sign up with your business name, your email address, we'll send you the device. So the risk that does come along with that, and what they don't tell you is 2.75 for the type of business you guys do is about double what you truly should be paying for a swipe rate. So how credit cards are determined is based upon the risk of the transaction. So the risk of a transaction with a debit card is extremely low. It's extremely low, number one, because it's attached to a bank account. If the money ain't in there, it's going to decline. If it's too high or risky, the bank going to decline it. That's coming directly out of your transaction. You should not be paying a 2.753% on a debit card transaction, because at this point, it's not even that big of a risk. When it comes to credit cards, consumer cards should get you the lowest transaction that's out there for a credit card. And depending on the volume that you're doing, that should range between a 1.65 up to maybe a 2%. Number one, because it's your personal card. So that business owner, you guys have the opportunity to say, hey, can I see your ID if it's a brand new customer? Because you know that, let me check to make sure that it's not, you're not going to call me after getting your hair done and call your credit card company saying that wasn't me that used my card in my shop. So anytime that you're swiping, that you're face-to-face, that's when you should have the lowest rate possible. That's the industry you guys are in. In most cases, you're doing face-to-face. So it'll be advantageous for you guys to, at minimum, take advantage of the program that we have and just say, can you do a rate review? Or can you show me, based upon what I did last month, how much could I have saved if I was with Payscape at that time? Because 2.75 is already so high, it basically wipes out the keyed-in transaction in your industry. Some industries it makes sense for, but once again, that keyed rate is never 2.75, it's more of a 3.75. So there's still ways to do it, but in the industry that we're talking about now, face-to-face transactions, dealing with consumers, you're not really B2B. The best route would be to do some type of consultative rate approach. Don't go consolidated billing. Because it's something set for every business, and you're not every business. Most businesses don't do transactions face-to-face. Most businesses do transactions over the phone. So when you're talking from a credit card, the way you pay your bill is not face-to-face. The things that people use credit cards for, and lots of times it's just not face-to-face. So always look at a company like Payscape, or if you find another company, not to say it's just us, we're just a partner, but find out and ask, hey, do you have any other billing model other than just consolidated billing that will work better for just me rather than putting me in the same pool as everyone else? The other thing when it comes to Square, your PayPals, these other ones that are pretty easy to get is they are non-underwritten accounts. Non-underwritten basically means we'll give it to you now and we'll take it back later when we find the risk that's involved in that. So with a non-underwritten account, you are you're set a limit. So think about when you first got your first bank account. I don't know if you ever went to try to take out more than what your daily limit was for your ATM. Then they'll flag it and they're like, no, you need to up that if you want to take more money out. Same parameters are set on the back end of credit cards. We look at the industry and we say that a average hairstylist, the average ticket should be $200 per, $200 per visit. And that person should have 20 people per month. So let's look at $4,000, what's the processing revenue? And they put that limit there. But let's say you have a month where you do 10,000. Well, because they never spoke to you and you let them know my busy season is here. Oh, I book weddings from August until December. So that 4,000 that you set me with, I need that being way higher. If you did do that and go to Square, which you can't because you just can't get anybody on the phone, then they could put the risk parameters in place to say, okay, we should anticipate a spike. But from their data analysts, when you're doing 2,000, 4,000, and then you jump to 10, 15,000 in 1 month, that's a red flag to a credit card company. Because the risk that's a part of it is the word credit. That business owner, the credit card company, is hoping that consumer pays their credit card bill at the end of the month because they're releasing funds to a business owner without those funds truly being there. It's not a bank account. A debit card is cut and dry. It's either in your account or it's not. A credit card is a credit limit. So the risk that is involved, they're saying, I'm not going to release an extra $10,000 to a business owner that normally does $3,000 to $4,000 without doing some type of investigation. And what do? They hold your funds. Square can hold your funds up to 6 months before even starting an investigation. And for a small business owner, that can be very detrimental, depending on it. So I'm using it, exactly. But there's nothing you can do. Once you're in that process, it's up to them. When they release the paperwork, it's up to them. So we have the same risk parameters in place, so I don't want to make it seem like they're doing something that's not normal. The difference is, when that does happen, we will flag it. We'll say, hey, Kenya, you normally do 5,000. We see that you're trying to bring in 20,000 this month. Before we release this, did you put an extra zero on top of 2,000 for one transaction, or was this really 20,000 that you want released? Yes, this is 20,000. Here are my receipts. Here are the invoices. This is the customer. We release those funds to you immediately. Instead of it being a phone call to Square, it's a phone call to Reagan. It's a phone call to our support team. If you're local, it's you coming up to our office. We're off of West Peachtree Street. And just saying, hey, I got a release. I need to give you guys this, and this is how we release your funds. Where was I?
About risk.
Yeah, so at this point, it's all about just the risk parameters of, okay, how do I make sure that I'm protecting myself? As a business owner, Square is a great platform. It's easy, it's convenient, but it's not ideal for a lot of business owners, especially if you have different areas of business that you're doing business in. The second area that we help salon professionals with is in the e-commerce space. So I mentioned that earlier. We can provide you guys with a shopping cart if that's something that you want. Full inventory. So if you do sell products online or anything like that, it is integrated with the inventory. And if you want to sell directly on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, you have that capability as well. The benefit of that is you don't have to redirect outside of sites to get a product done. So when you talk about risk again, somebody goes to Instagram, they see your ad, they see your post, they click on it. Instead of it redirecting and going outside of Instagram to another site, our platform will pull it up right there in Instagram or Facebook. So it'll look like you have a shopping page right now on Facebook that is attached to your bank account, to your, whatever account that you want the funds to go into. This is more for looks purposes, not necessarily anything else besides looks, because the bounce rate when people get directed to another site, it just decreases a lot that same person is actually going to buy. Could be because they're like, wait, is this truly still the same person that I'm buying from?
Yeah.
Is the product? It's just a look and feel that when you don't leave a page and you're right there and I already have my credit card, instead of it bouncing to another page or opening up another window, I'm going to just go ahead and pay right then and there. One of those things that is people don't pay attention to, but it's out there, but it's something that we offer. Another is online invoicing. So we do have an invoicing software. It's been used for a couple of things. Some people use the invoicing software for deposits only. So depending on if you have a lot of no-shows, or if it is something where it's a wedding, and you're like, I'll do your hair. You want to lock me in for that date? Let me send you an invoice, pay this deposit, lock it in. At the end of the wedding, depending on if I'm charging you hourly or per rate or whatever, then I can send you an invoice while we're right here and there. You go ahead and pay for it. Same thing if you have parents, if you have college students and their parents are paying for their hair, or anything where somebody is not present, but they still want to go ahead and take care of a bill, take care of an invoice, give them that option. We do have that platform also. Those are three for me to go through all of it, honestly. Those are just three that I think would be very beneficial. Once again, Reagan is the person that is your go-to. She can set up a demo at any point, a consultative conversation. And it's truly just tell me about your business, tell me what you've done in the past, tell me where you're looking to go with your business, and now let me tell you the best way to have it set up. Because you may have two types of salons. You may have that one salon that it's commission-based, and they want everything run through the front register. And that's the way they want to run it, because they want to know who had the most sales and who did the upselling, who did the coloring, so on, so on, so on. And that's some salons, that's how they want to run it. Then you have other salons that's booth rent. If it's booth rent, well, that's perfectly fine. You want to be able to say, look, here's your own personal account. But if they wanted that money to possibly flow through so that that booth rent is automatically paid, or if we still want to do reports, then we may have our programs, it's like a 5-user program. So this little swipers can have like 5 users on it. So this is something that for your shop per se, let's say you guys had this one.
Which is not commission based, but there are employees.
Yeah, similar to it.
So if we have one register, everybody goes through that.
Exactly. So in this case, like this one device can have up to 5 users on it. So this is considered a
device
multi.
will be tied to our company. Although I have 6 people, if somebody wants to pay right then and there, it's still flowing through my company.
Yeah.
Exactly. So with this, you
Okay.
can say, let's say Reagan is stylist 1, Jabrea is stylist 2, Kenya is stylist 3. Then when it's time for them to pay, you can pull up that stylist account, but still use the same device, and it's still just.
About that is it allows the experience to be, I don't have the right word, but it's just kind of in one bucket. So you might come in and you have your interactions, you see whoever, but when you're ready to check out, we don't have to take you to the register. We can just continue. Yeah, and we can take you right over here to the product. We can put it in your bag, get
Exactly.
your coat, and send you on your way.
Exactly.
And it, although it feels very onesie with this stylus, it is still very much our thing, and it gets rid of lines.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So, and that's what Reagan brings to the table
We're
is the
small, we don't
expertise.
really need a POS. We don't.
Exactly.
I really would love to check it.
Yeah, you don't.
It's in the way.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And I work with the
That's
Salon
true.
and Spa Professional Association in Minnesota. So I work with all the SSPA members who, were using big POS systems, or they were using like the Booker app and directing everyone on the
Yeah.
website, and then they were paying like the 3.75%
Yeah.
for not present transactions. And I've saved salon owners thousands and thousands of dollars just by switching to something like this.
I can't stay
So.
much longer, but I will reach out because
Okay.
I was waiting to hear if you had
Yeah.
something that could work for me.
Yeah.
But I would love. Sorry, it's not part of the video.
No, it's not wrong. This is a Q&A, definitely.
Yeah, I would love to
Yeah, I
hear
have
more
each
about
other's
that
info.
because
I think I have your info because you were next on my list to actually call and sell this device. I've been prospecting.
well, I'm glad I saw you here because
Yeah.
I don't need you click.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
I'm just like that all the time with everybody. I'm like, I don't need it. Click.
Yeah, I would definitely love to go through a rate review with
knowing
you.
that it does work with that kind of business model.
Yes.
It does open me up. And I actually just said, I looked at my salon software and I was like, I don't really need you. You're just kind of just there so we can put appointments on the book. You don't really serve a purpose beyond that. I mean, people can book online, but there's a billion tools that do
Yeah,
that now.
Exactly.
absolutely.
And I feel like I'm paying them too much for services I don't need. And I absolutely will consider something that's a lower rate. So I'm
Absolutely.
open.
And while you're on that, so one of the benefits that you guys get as members is we do meet or beat campaigns with all of the members here. And all that basically means is if we can't meet your current pricing and provide you with something that's easier for you to use or beat your pricing completely, then we're gonna pay you $50 out of our pocket just for giving us the opportunity.
You guys
To-
get a card for that? Do you go a card? You can't.
A card, no, a $50 gift card, that's it.
I was asking, can I get a card?
Oh, I wish.
No, I can't make that.
Everybody would
We
get
can't
one.
the president will give you a card. Okay.
No, I can't do that, but we are, that's just a program that we have in place to let you guys know how serious we are about trying to at least save you some type of money. The second thing is, how can we make you a better business owner? So the biggest thing that we can provide you with as a business owner is just exposure to something that you didn't know. So even if you make a decision that I don't want to go with it, perfectly fine, but get educated on it. So when it's time for you to make a decision or this comes up, you're at least like, oh, Square, I'm not happy with you. I have somewhere else to go. Or, at least now I'm educated enough to know when that new stylist comes on that, hey, maybe we need to go this route and do it that way. There's nothing wrong with having 2 merchant services, at least options out there because things do go wrong. So even if you have Square, now that you know about the risk, you may say, I want to keep Square. Like one of the big things that a lot of people want to keep Square for, and it's a great program, is I know sometimes they do cash advance. And it's really just based upon how much that you're processing with them. So you basically paid them, you're borrowing your own money. But a lot of people, they really like that. So I tell them, if that's something that Square's you just love about them, feel free if you want to run your small transactions through there. But if you're going to do a large transaction, if you see an influx of money coming in, instead of you risking that money getting tied up, just do it through a local provider, and you can go ahead and have a conversation saying, hey, this is what's going on with my business, and at least you have the support behind it. That's my advice with any business owner. I don't ever want you stuck, let's say, with one product that just, if you're not going to be happy with it. I can stand behind my product because I know the support that we bring behind it. But just like every business, we have outages. Technology is technology. But with us, we're going to send out, hey, this is what's going on. Or, hey, this is